Hey everyone, Bishu here. Today we're taking on a pretty heavy topic, American cities that are on the brink of disappearing. And not disappearing in a cool David Copperfield way, but in a way that has huge implications for the people who live there. We're going to talk about 10 cities across the US, from the Rust Belt to the Sun Belt, that are facing some serious challenges. We're talking economic decline, climate change, environmental disasters, stuff that's forcing people to leave their homes and communities behind. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by these problems, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the stories we're going to hear are pretty disheartening. But by understanding these issues, by looking them right in the face, we can start to think about solutions, about how to create a future where cities can thrive, not just survive. Welcome to our countdown of the 10 American cities that are disappearing forever. These cities are facing challenges that could lead to their eventual disappearance. Alright, let's start with Detroit, a city that's become synonymous with decline. Once a powerhouse of American industry, Detroit was hit hard by the auto industry's collapse. We've all seen the images: abandoned factories, crumbling houses, empty streets. But what happens to the people who stay? What happens to the communities that refuse to give up? There's a real human cost to economic decline. It's about lost jobs, yeah, but it's also about the erosion of hope, the feeling that your city has been forgotten. But here's the thing about Detroit. Amidst the decay, there's a spirit of resilience, a determination to rebuild. People are starting businesses, creating art, and working to revitalize their neighborhoods. The future of Detroit is uncertain, but one thing's for sure, it's a city full of stories of loss and hardship, but also stories of hope and resilience. Next up, we're heading south to Miami, a city synonymous with sunshine, beaches, and, rising sea levels. Climate change is no longer some abstract threat for Miami, it's an everyday reality. We're talking about streets that flood regularly, properties that are losing value, and a constant sense of uncertainty about the future. Imagine living in a place where the very ground beneath your feet is threatened by the ocean. It's a scary thought, right? But Miami is a city known for its adaptability, its ability to reinvent itself, and people are fighting back, investing in infrastructure, developing new technologies, and finding ways to adapt to this new reality. The question is, can Miami outrun the rising tide? Can innovation and human ingenuity keep pace with the relentless force of nature? Our next stop takes us to Cleveland, Ohio, a city that was once a bustling hub of industry. Like Detroit, Cleveland has been hit hard by the decline of manufacturing, and its population has been shrinking for decades. When people leave, when jobs disappear, it creates a ripple effect. Businesses close, schools struggle, and neighborhoods start to feel empty. But Cleveland is a city with a strong sense of community, a place where people look out for each other, and there are signs of hope. The city is working to diversify its economy, attract new businesses, and revitalize its downtown, and there's a growing arts and culture scene that's breathing new life into the city. Can Cleveland reinvent itself for the 21st century? Can it attract new residents and write a new chapter in its history? Our journey takes us next to Flint, Michigan, a city that's become a tragic symbol of environmental injustice. The water crisis in Flint, where residents were exposed to dangerously high levels of lead, is a stark reminder of the consequences of neglecting our infrastructure and failing to protect our most vulnerable communities. Imagine turning on your tap and not knowing if the water coming out is safe to drink, to cook with, to bathe in. That was the reality for the people of Flint. The water crisis has had a devastating impact on Flint, eroding trust in government, displacing families, and raising serious concerns about the long-term health effects of lead exposure, especially on children. But the people of Flint are resilient. They've organized, protested, and demanded justice. They've come together to support each other and fight for a better future. The road to recovery for Flint will be long and difficult, but the spirit of the people gives hope that the city can heal and rebuild. We head south to St. Louis, Missouri, a city grappling with many of the same challenges as other Rust Belt cities: population decline, poverty, crime. St. Louis has a long history of racial segregation and economic inequality, and these issues continue to plague the city today. It's a city that often feels divided, but can it bridge these divides and create a more just and equitable future? There are people in St. Louis working tirelessly to address these challenges. Community activists, organizers, and everyday citizens are working to combat poverty, improve education, and create opportunities for all. They're working to heal the wounds of the past and build a more inclusive future. The challenges are real, but so is the spirit of hope and the commitment to change. The question is, can St. Louis find a way forward that works for everyone? Next we travel to New Orleans, a city that's no stranger to disaster. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 exposed the city's vulnerability to natural disasters and the deep inequalities that persist within its borders. The images of New Orleans after Katrina are seared into our collective memory: flooded streets, destroyed homes, displaced families. The storm laid bare the city's fragility and the human toll of climate change. But New Orleans is a city with a soul, a city known for its music, its food, its culture, its resilience. And in the aftermath of Katrina, the people of New Orleans showed incredible strength and determination in rebuilding their lives and their city. But the threat of future storms looms large, and New Orleans is locked in a constant battle against the rising sea. Can this vibrant city adapt and survive in the face of an uncertain future? We head west to Bakersfield, California, a city that's grappling with a different kind of environmental threat: air pollution. Bakersfield sits in the heart of California's Central Valley, a major agricultural region. But the success of agriculture has come at a cost. Pesticides, fertilizers, and dust from farming operations have created some of the worst air quality in the nation. Imagine living in a place where you can see the smog hanging in the air, where you have to think twice about letting your kids play outside. That's the reality for many people in Bakersfield. The health impacts of this pollution are real, leading to respiratory problems, heart disease, and even cancer. But there's a growing movement in Bakersfield to address these issues, to promote sustainable agriculture, and to fight for clean air for all. Our journey takes us back to the Rust Belt, to Youngstown, Ohio, a city that's been hit hard by the loss of manufacturing jobs. Youngstown was once a thriving steel town, but the closure of the mills in the 1970s and 1980s devastated the city's economy and its spirit. The loss of jobs led to population decline, blight, and a sense of hopelessness. It's like the city lost a part of its identity. But Youngstown is a city determined to rise again. It's working to diversify its economy, attract new businesses, and create new opportunities for its residents. There's a growing tech sector, a renewed focus on education, and a sense of community that refuses to give up. We head to the desert southwest, to Phoenix, Arizona, a city facing the brunt of climate change. Phoenix is one of the hottest cities in the US, and temperatures are only getting hotter due to climate change. We're talking about extreme heat that can be deadly, especially for the elderly and those without access to air conditioning. Imagine a city where it's too hot to go outside for much of the year, where the heat island effect makes the city even hotter than the surrounding areas. The heat is taking a toll on Phoenix, straining its water resources, increasing energy demands, and posing serious health risks to its residents. But Phoenix is a city known for innovation, and it's working to adapt to this new reality, investing in renewable energy, promoting water conservation, and finding ways to keep its residents cool. Our final stop takes us to Gary, Indiana, a city that's often overlooked and forgotten. Gary, like many Rust Belt cities, was built on industry, specifically steel. But the decline of the steel industry in the 1960s and 1970s hit Gary hard, leading to job losses, population decline, and widespread blight. Today, Gary is a city struggling to survive. It has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation, its infrastructure is crumbling, and its residents often feel forgotten by the rest of the country. But amidst the challenges, there's a glimmer of hope. There are people in Gary who are working to rebuild their city block by block, house by house. There are community gardens, art projects, and small businesses popping up, signs of life in a city that's been written off by many. So, there you have it, 10 American cities facing some pretty dire challenges. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, even helpless, when confronted with these issues. But the stories of these cities are also stories of resilience, of communities coming together, of people fighting for their homes and their futures. The problems these cities face are complex, with no easy solutions. But by understanding these challenges, by listening to the stories of the people who live them every day, we can start to imagine a different future. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And let me know in the comments what you think. What other cities should we be talking about? What solutions give you hope?